sometimes I think to myself, if I really had to struggle the way some of these people are struggling, I would sell ass. Let me be for real. I'm not selling no damn ass. I barely want to give ass up to these sugar daddies, and they're breaking bread off for free, for nothing. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Let Me Just Say This. If you are new here, hello, welcome to the vibe, welcome to the tribe. Go ahead and subscribe. You are going to love it here. And if you're watching, hello, hey, from the living room once again, honey, I hope you're having an amazing day at the time that you are listening or watching this. And if you do not subscribe to the socials, go over to the Instagram right now. Pause right now. Go over to that Instagram, go over to that TikTok, and follow your girl because it's going up over there. We're having a lot of traction on Instagram these days, baby. A whole lot of traction, and I love it for me, even if they crying in the comments still, okay? So that's at LMJST_pod on TikTok and Instagram. Go over there, support the pod. You're gonna enjoy yourself, I promise. Child, speaking of social media, today we're getting into the finances of things, baby, because social media will have you believing that you could be 23 making $50,000 a month just by selling a digital product. Ting. Listen, I'm so tired of the scammers. Even though I'm 15 seconds from scamming my damn self, I am tired of the scammers, and we really need to talk about it because, child, the girls are struggling. The girls are struggling already. We're in a recession, Bookie. We're in a recession, honey. Inflation is really stepping on our necks, baby. Okay, I went to the store and tried to buy some grapes. Them bitches was $8. Had me fucked up. Like, hey, this used to be $3. This used to be $5 just last week. BFFR. What the hell is happening? Are we living in a post-apocalyptic world? Like, what is this? Is this a dystopian future? Blink twice if this is a dystopian future. I really want to get into the glorification of scams on social media, the fact that people cannot get jobs, okay? And the impact that it's having on millennials who are consuming all this content that makes them feel bad for not having money and not being able to go to Turks and Caicos every week, okay? I also want to share with you guys my experience with money and my experience specifically with finances in my last relationship. Not the last one, but my real, like I really only count one relationship in my life. Like I said, anything older than 2 years, except for this one relationship, fell off my relationship and sexual credit report. So none of those other motherfuckers count. But this one man, we were together for 4 years, and finances played a major role in the downfall of our relationship. And people don't talk about enough how important it is to discuss and understand the role that finances plays in romance and dating, because it is, for very good reason, one of the leading causes of divorce and one of the leading reasons why people are struggling and suffering in relationships. So we're gonna get into all of that. Let's go ahead and get it. Now listen, I just wanna say to the girls who are selling those courses and telling us that I could have a new Bentley by next week by making a digital product, girl, fuck you. Respectfully, girl, fuck you. Like, I need you to stop pandering to people's brokenness in this recession, okay? And here's the thing that I don't think people understand. These digital products don't teach you anything. You're not learning any real skill, okay? You would buy this digital product, and the digital product tells you how to sell a digital product to another person who is buying your digital product to learn how to sell digital product. Doesn't that sound... It sounds like an MLM. It sounds, I don't know how. I can't explain it, but in one way or another, it sounds like a scam. It sounds like a pyramid scheme. It sounds just really wishy-washy. And here's the thing. Instagram will make you think that people have all this money. I'll use Atlanta, for example. Everybody who lives in Georgia knows that Atlanta is one of the biggest cities for scamming. Everybody has money. Everybody wears designer. Everybody is just flossing and living their best lives and driving these nice cars. It's a lie. It's rented. It's rented, okay? They have on Fendi, they're pulling up to their apartment, okay? That car, baby, it's not even leased. It's not loaned. It's rented for the weekend, honey, okay? It's the city of flossing, the city of scammers. And here's the thing, you can't be a scammer if you don't look the part. So a lot of times these Instagram girls, specifically the ones that I see at least, will show themselves and appeal to the mass consumerism in us? Will it appeal into the side of us that wants nice luxury things that make it seem like, oh, we have so much money, right? They'll be hopping out of a brand new car that's really nice, or having a really nice bag, or their hair is really nice and they're dressed up and they're just walking through the mall with Gucci and Fendi and Louis bags. Girl, that bitch got them bags off of Etsy. She didn't even get it from the store. Them bags are duplicates she bought off of DHgate, okay? And I'm not talking about the bag. I'm talking about the bag that it comes in when you get it from the store. Baby, it's not real. It's not real. And it's being used to scam a lot of people. And I really feel bad for the girls because they're paying like out the ass for these courses or these digital products or some get rich quick scheme that really isn't going to help you build any wealth. And I know you're not going to want to hear this, but the only way you're going to build wealth is to build a real skill, is to get a real fucking job, a real job, or have a real reputable business. Or if you want to be a scammer, maybe if you don't have any like morals or values, then you could do that. But if it were that easy, everybody would be a fucking millionaire. And that's the thing I don't understand, how people buy into it. And it's sad, but people are desperate. I've been seeing and watching a lot of TikToks as well of millennials and younger people talking about how they can't get jobs. This is one of the worst economies to try to get a job in. Terrible. I pray to God every day that I have a job. Even though I'll be wanting to quit my job, I pray to God and thank God every day. Hey, thanks for this, Jesus. Thanks, thanks, Sky Daddy. Thank you. Because the bills are paid. I get paid well. I have benefits. God is too good to me. However, for the people out there who can't find a job, who are on Indeed and LinkedIn and getting scammed, baby, it's enticing. And when you are really struggling, okay, you'll go for anything. You'll go for any damn thing, okay? I just feel like one of the major issues with social media is that it makes you believe in a fantasy. It's smoke and mirrors, okay? Before you start comparing yourself to these people on the internet who you think are living the life that you want, I need you to understand that you're only seeing one side of it. All this shit is smoke and mirrors, okay? You're only seeing one side. You don't know what's in their bank account. You don't know what's going on with their health, with their personal life. You don't know if they're sleeping on a mattress on the floor with no sheets. You just know what they curate on their feed. You know what I'm saying? And comparison is a thief of joy. It will leave you at home, curled up in a ball, wondering, why not me, Jesus? No. Especially when it comes to life and feeling like you should be in a certain place at a certain time. All the millennials and the people who graduated during the pandy, baby, I'm sorry to y'all. It's tough out here. It is tough out here. And life is going to grip you up by the back of your neck like a puppy and swing your ass in a circle. I cannot give a fuck and not even explain why it's doing it. And I'll be damned if life is already kicking my ass and I'm feeding into a pyramid scheme or an MLM. Oh my God. You know how many friends I had in MLMs who were reaching out to me? Hey girl, I ain't seen you in a long time. How are you? Come join my team of blah, blah, blah. Girl, get the fuck out of my DMs with that bullshit. I should reach through the phone and slap you. Playing with my time. Side note, I dated somebody who was in an MLM once. And I didn't realize he was in an MLM until he was explaining it to me. And I was like, that sounds sketchy. Like, I was like, that sounds like an MLM. And this is when I knew I had to cut his ass off because he said to me, MLMs are not that bad. I've been in a couple. Girl, if this motherfucker tells you he been in an MLM, you need to run because he ain't got no money. He has nothing to give you. He has zero to give you, and he's gullible, and he's dumb. You ain't building no wealth with him, okay? And you damn sure don't want to be a baby daddy. So go ahead and get up off of that. But yeah, back to the point. Social media will lead you to believe that shit is what it is, but it ain't, okay? And a lot of these scammers are going to play into our overspending, our mass consumerism, our desire to live and be butt-ass naked on a beach every day. I mean, not butt-ass naked, but ass cheeks out on the beach somewhere in Turks and Caicos. Honey, it's not reality. We're living in a dystopian future. The faster you come to terms with that, the better off you'll be. Now, my experience and background with finances, okay? I have spent the entirety of my adult life in a stable financial position, and that is solely because I joined the military. I was 18, I enlisted in the Navy, and I had a paycheck on the 1st and 15th guaranteed. I had benefits, I had healthcare, I had a place to stay, and I had something to eat. Guaranteed I was taken care of. Guaranteed, okay? And that was the biggest life hack. All right? That was the greatest thing I could have done for myself. When I see people complaining about working 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet, and they're able-bodied and they're young, child, if you don't quit them damn jobs and go join the Air Force or go join the Navy or the Space Force, baby, and get you a check on the 1st and the 15th and get you some benefits, I don't understand some people who will trade all of their time for less. It may come with some sacrifices, but baby, one thing about it and 2 things for sure, the military will never have you wondering where you're going to sleep, where you're going to get a check, or what you're going to be eating. Those are 3 things that are going to be taken care of. And honestly, if there's anybody that is active duty in the military who is homeless or doesn't know where the next meal is coming from, wholeheartedly is either one of 2 things. Either A, they're financially irresponsible, or B, in one way or another, their command has failed the fuck out of them. There's no way, okay? It is a life hack. The best thing I could have done was join the military. I'm not trying to promote it or anything, because clearly I got out, okay? I'm happier now. But I'm just saying, because I did that when I was 18, it gave me a massive leg up financially, right? But I still had to learn so much. I still had to learn about credit. I still had to learn about, saving and investing and not going broke and not running up credit cards. I still had to learn those things. But the thing about it is, I grew up poor. I don't come from any type of generational wealth, okay? My parents, there's nothing they can give me. All this shit is moving on my own. Nothing was given to me. I worked for everything that I had. And sometimes you are your only backup plan. There's no mom, there's no dad or auntie, uncle, granny. There's no family to go stay with. Sometimes it's just you. And for me, it's just me. It's just me. If this shit fall through, I'm out on my ass because there's nothing anybody else can give to me. And that's terrible as fuck. That's why I move the way that I do, because I don't want my children to grow up that way. And growing up poor for a long time, having a poverty mindset, had me in a mindset of hoarding. I used to hoard a lot of my money, and which was good because I was a saver. I saved a lot. But I was afraid of going broke. I was afraid of being poor. Poverty mindset had a grasp on me for a really long time until I realized that, and I really have this, maybe this is the Sagittarius in me, but I really have a mentality of money is going to come and it's going to go. I'm a hustler. So I'm going to make sure that I go get something. One way or another, I'm going to keep these lights and these bills paid. Okay. But it was really hard. And it's something I had to learn. The school system has failed a lot of people when it comes to financial literacy. And that's why a lot of people are running up credit cards, running up debt, getting shit that they cannot afford. And we all fall into the debt cycle. We all, fall into something financially that we could have done better. I think the reality is that nowadays people just can't afford life. People can afford to do things. And so debt has become the way that people pay off things. Lying and scheming and frauding is the way that some people get paid. And it's unfortunate. Now, wait a damn minute, because my battery died. The camera done overheated, baby. Big government don't want me to tell y'all the secrets to financial freedom. No, I'm not going to lie. I don't know. I do not know. The gurus will tell you what you need to do to become financially free. They'll tell you what you need to do to make $50,000 in a day. Baby, it's all a lie. It's all a scam, okay? At the end of the day, I have my own conspiracy theories about the economy and why everybody is broke. Or, at least feeling the weight of inflation and rising housing costs and, growing up poor and not understanding financial literacy, or growing up in environments where they were secure and didn't understand how to use money once they got it. I have my own theories. But let me just say this, okay? In any situation, you have to pick and choose, and it comes with sacrifices. And if you are in a space where you're struggling financially or you just got laid off and you don't have a job, I know it's going to be hard. I know it's difficult. It is definitely hard as hell, but baby, do not give up. Hang in there. Hang in there. There's no right answer, but there are plenty of wrong answers. So I'll tell you what one of the wrong answers is feeding into that fear of not having money or being desperate, for employment. Don't feed into that shit because that is what's going to lead you in the wrong direction. Now, let me tell y'all a story, okay, about my first love. I was in a relationship for 4 years with somebody, and the entire time I was in this relationship, he was broke. He was broke, and I mean real life broke, girls. I don't mean, oh, he didn't have a job or anything. He had a job. He was in a massive amount of debt, and he had a terrible overspending problem, and he couldn't keep a check. And I didn't find out until later. Mind you, this is 19-year-old Naya. If I could go back and tell myself something, I would tell myself, and this is going to sound crazy, they're going to hate this, but I don't believe that young women who are ambitious and driven and focused should be with any man that is broke. And I know that's not a hot take, but they're going to hate that shit. If I could go back, I would have told myself to leave as soon as I found out. So this is my first real relationship, okay? I was only 19 and I was in the Navy and I was on the hunt for a husband, and somebody sat me down very quickly, okay? Very quickly after I got in. And I thought I was in love, baby. This is my first everything, okay? And honestly, I would like to debunk what I believe is a myth, okay? I believe that there's this idea that women aren't going to stay down for a man who doesn't have any money or who doesn't have anything or is, going through whatever financially. But the reality is a lot of women, I would put a wager that majority of women have been with and continue to be with men who are not financially stable simply out of love. Okay. Simply because she loved him. Okay. Now, when my ex first told me how much debt he was in, my first instinct was not to leave and be like, okay, he ain't got no money. I'm not going to be struggling with him. He's not financially responsible. How can he be my husband if he can't manage money? My first instinct was to stay. My first instinct was to help him. My thought was, okay, that's all right. We'll figure it out. And I subsequently spent a good chunk of my early 20s helping him, helping him get out of debt. Can't nobody ever say I'm not a ride or die. Because when I tell you I was helping this man pay his car note, I was helping him get groceries. I was taking care of everything. Anytime we traveled, and we were long distance for a long time, actually basically the majority of the time. And I helped and paid for everything. And I was young. So I didn't know any better. But when I say I was really doing a lot, I was doing way more than I needed to be doing. Okay. And it was really toxic too, because I was with this man who did not have any money and did not have any way to take care of himself, let alone me. And I still felt the need to be there for him. I still felt the need okay, I'm going to invest in this because I think this is my husband. God was showing me in every way that he wasn't my damn husband. Sometimes you got to listen. I should have left when I knew. I should have left when I found out. I know you're probably wondering, Naya, why would you stay with a man who couldn't manage his finances? Why would you stay with someone that had a massive amount of debt and no money and couldn't do anything and had you paying for shit and sliding your card to him under the table so he can look like he paying for the tab? Why would you do that? Girl, I was in love. I was young, dumb, and in love. And I thought that If I take care of things now, he'll take care of it on the back end. But the thing about it is, when you are a financial crutch, especially to a man who has poor financial literacy, you will forever be taking care of everything. Or maybe not forever, but for a long ass time. And you got to be willing to accept that or move on. And I was willing to accept it for a long time. I was willing because I thought he was my husband. I thought that, we were going to be together forever. And that was the young naivety of me. But the reality is, I put a lot of money into a relationship and giving to a man who is now with somebody else. With somebody else. I am not seeing any of the fruits of that labor. Somebody else is getting it, not me. And I'm not saying this to say that if your partner doesn't have good financial literacy or is in a massive amount of debt or has bad credit or is broke, that you shouldn't be with them. I'm just saying that you should evaluate the reality of the situation. If you're with someone who is broke and can't get right, you need to leave. If you are with somebody that has you out here struggling, hey, you'll be better off struggling by yourself than struggling with another able-bodied adult, okay? And I feel like it's even worse if you are in a certain age group, if you are of a certain, place in your life where you should have had something established by now and you don't, you have bigger fish to fry than a relationship. And I will forever say that. I think this is like a major point of contention. And I don't want to get into the, if somebody's broke, should you be with them or should you be dating? I feel like that's situational, but I feel like it's also common sense. It's common sense. Okay. Dating and being out here and doing all that, that's a rich man's sport. It's somebody who got money because relationships are expensive. I think it's just to say that finances play a much larger role than people think. And two, I felt a lot of stress in that relationship because I was in a relationship with somebody who couldn't financially take care of themselves. I felt a lot of weight. I felt a lot of responsibility to make sure he had groceries, to make sure that he was good. I'm over here paying car notes. I'm over here making sure that he got gas and all this other shit like I'm his mother because I loved him, because I saw potential. And that potential may be reached, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to be there to see it because the financial piece of that was the downfall of our relationship. It was one major downfall of our relationship, especially when you are a person who yourself is financially responsible. Being with somebody who is dragging you down like that shit is rough. And then from my perspective as a young woman, I wanted to be with somebody who could take care of a family. And I just didn't feel like he could. And God bless him. I hope he can now. But definitely with me, he couldn't. And I feel like that was also a little bit much to ask of a 20-something-year-old man, early 20s. Most people in that age group can't. But he did put himself in a terrible financial situation that he couldn't get out of because he, in my opinion, didn't really want it bad enough. And then also he just was bad with fucking money and couldn't get right. For me and my next partner, I would absolutely say that I don't have to know what is in your bank account at all times, but I need to know how you manage money. I need to know that you can take care of yourself. Okay. You know how many people are just in relationships because they cannot afford to not be in one? I'm going to chalk that up to the economy, but I'm going to also chalk that up to people not managing their money properly. People not understanding financial literacy. And for me, it's not necessarily about having so much money. It's about being independent and being stable and being transparent. I feel like in relationships, you have to be transparent with things like this because there's nothing more vulnerable than how much money you got in your pocket. People don't like when other people pocket watch, but the reality is if you're going to spend the rest of your life with someone, or if you can have sex with someone and be intimate with someone in that way, as such as people who in relationships are doing it, you should be able to talk about money. You should be able to open up that app and be like, okay, this is what it's looking like. you're talking about you want to be with this person forever, you need to show them what they're walking into and vice versa. Okay? You got terrible credit, they need to know. They need to know. And these are adult ass things. Because when it comes time to buy the house or get that apartment or get that car or try to get this or get that with that person, it can look real funny if you don't know what is happening over there. And last thing, okay? It is so important to not be financially dependent on your partner. You need to be financially independent, but you guys should be able to work together to build, okay? Because if you are financially dependent on another person, it becomes much harder to do things for yourself. It becomes much harder to leave that situation if and when you want to, because now you are stuck. Now you have to stay because this person is the one who is controlling a major part of your livelihood, or vice versa. You might be in control of somebody else's, and putting somebody out on the street is not fun. I mean, not speaking from experience, but I'll definitely put a motherfucker out. I really hope I conveyed that message the best that I could. I know that was kind of a little bit all over the place, but you know, as a person who has worked really hard and has come from a certain background, I recognize that money is the root of all evil, but it could also be the source of a lot of joy. And I'm not saying, not necessarily the source, but the foundation of the things that can bring you closer to the life that you want. And it's a double-edged sword, no matter how you spin it. I feel like all of these conversations that we tend to have about money and relationships tend to be surface level. And I have participated in that 1000%. We all have. But I think we have to get real with each other, especially in times like this, because shit is hard out here. It's too hard to be lying and faking and flossing and overspending and all that in the name of love. Okay? Please get that shit together. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I really hope that it gave you a sense of, perspective. And if anything, I hope it gave you a little cackle. And I want to thank you for making it to this point in the episode. It means a lot. That's a big deal. Most people make it through maybe half through. But you made it to the end, Bookie. And I fuck with you for real the long way. I love you deep. Okay. Send me your cash app. I'm going to send you $1. Okay. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys take care until then. Love you. Bye.